at this point, we'll wrap up this conversation and we'll go over to my colleague at the DFR Lab, Ayushman Kaul, with a presentation on social media in India, democracy and social media at a crossroads.
Hi, my name is Ayushman Kaul. I'm a South Asia researcher for the DFR Lab, and I'd like to take you through one of our most recent investigations in India. Now, over the past decade, a proliferation of cheap mobile data has contributed towards a widening internet access in India, leading to a surge in the adoption of major social media platforms in the country. The same period has also seen a wide variety of actors attempt to leverage the reach of such platforms to achieve their own personal, political, and commercial goals. One such actor, Press Monitor International, is a Toronto-based PR firm that created and managed a range of websites that impersonated domestic media outlets that also engaged in fact-checking. Articles from these websites, which sought to manipulate public perception in favor of the ruling government in India on a range of domestic and foreign policy topics, were amplified by verified social media handles belonging to dozens of Indian embassies and consulates on Twitter and Facebook. India versus Disinformation, one of these spurious domestic media outlets that were created and managed by the firm, used the tagline, "Truth Matters," to publish articles that employed the tropes and terminology associated with domestic fact-checking outlets as a means of targeting the government's political opponents, as well as local and international media outlets for their allegedly biased coverage of domestic affairs. Now, Press Monitor used IVD to aggregate political junk news links from India News Network, another fictitious media outlet run by the same organization. These articles often combined elements of different articles that included in-house opinion pieces written under the moniker of the IVD Bureau, with sections of text taken from associated websites run by the firm, as well as other traditional media outlets, all together in a bid to erode the distinction between the different sources of information. Now, the DFR Lab employed open source investigative techniques, including an investigation of the source code of the various pages of these individual junk news websites, as well as a deeper examination of the network infrastructure that underpinned the websites to reveal a wealth of links that tied the India versus Disinformation operation to the firm. This analysis also provided a glimpse into the broader nature of such activities that are carried out by firms offering disinformation-as-a-service with other assets, including websites that offered bulk SMS capabilities, commercial websites for businesses in India and the Middle East, as well as 2 websites dedicated to the RSS, an extremist right-wing organization in the country. A passive DNS scan of the dedicated server that hosted India versus Disinformation, India News Network, as well as other political junk news links that were run by the firm, also revealed a history of cyber squatting domains that were named after Indian government initiatives, including the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, as well as the Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana and Digital India initiatives. Now, the IVD investigation is the latest in a series of examples that show how some modern PR and digital communication companies are willing to engage in disinformation as a service as a means of attracting lucrative contracts from state actors. The firm's use of fact-checking tropes to further pro-government narratives also constitutes a very dangerous trend, particularly with its capacity to fuel politicization of domestic fact-checking in a polarized media environment that is already rife with rumor and mis and disinformation. Thank you.